Uh, Hi, Internet. My name is Patrick, and I am, or at least I like to think of myself as a dungeon master of some experience. I've been playing this game for about 10 years, been running a show for about 5, or running a game for about 5. I don't have my own D&D, so God, I wish. But one of the things that I want to put out there is doesn't matter if I just started or if I'm playing or 10 years online. I want to run all my encounters to be potent, be memorable. And let's face it, I've committed a rather common sin amongst running monsters. Just plopping miniatures down on the table with no thought and just running them up into melee and attacking till dead. Which can work, but I think that it might be better if we look at some monsters and figure out how we can use them a little more effectively. So, why don't we start with a rather basic one before we get into anything more complex? And before we just talk about strategies, let's see what we are working with. So, this here is the Goblin. It is probably the most bog standard, or at least one of the more common types of folks you can fight against. Looking at it, you can see that it has an armor class of 11, an HP of 7, with 30 feet. Meaning most people can probably kill one in one hit, especially if you're a fighter or a barbarian, or especially a paladin with a smite. So, the reason why I said that we can maybe make this a little more engaging is the nimble escape feature. Being able to disengage or hide as a bonus action. Now, most folks will have them will first have them hide, and then attack. In fact, let's kind of see what that might look like. So, Goblin is going to... We got this little Goblin mini. First off, if you're looking for miniatures, go to Printable Heroes. They have a wonderful Patreon, only $3 a month, plenty of printable minis. And let's say they are attacking this lovely individual, this little spear guy. So, what they will do is that they will hide first, presumably behind like a tree or rock, and then strike at advantage. The problem with this is that on the next turn, this little guy can just move up into melee and just... But if we change things around, they attack first and then hide second as their bonus action, they'll be only striking at... they'll only be able to attack regularly on their first turn, but if they stealth well, they'll be able to continue to get an advantage every turn. And while we're looking at pacing, let's look at spacing. Now, with these little guys, I would recommend having them be at about a 40-foot distance from your target. This is because, let's say this little guy is trying to get to this little gal. He would need to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And look at that. About 10 feet of distance, meaning this little gal can move away, so he has a little breathing room. Or, better yet, they can take the dash action, close distance, waste their action, only leaving a bonus action left for them to attack. Now, so you can still disengage and move around. But the thing is, positioning and movement, as I think, is rather important in this game if you're running monsters. You can always just have them be up in the melee and have a slug fight and don't have to move and just whittle down HP, and that can work, but I think it'd be a lot better if you think a little more about how monsters will play. So, I understand this is rather amateurish. After all, I'm just a lone guy filming in what I call my workshop. But I hope you found this a little bit more entertaining, or at the very least informative. This is my, if I'm being honest, this is my hyperfixation. I love this game with all my heart, and what I want most is I want this hobby to flourish, and I want to have more people involved. And partly call it a selfish idea of more people means more people at my tables, but also this game relies on community, and we can't really play this without having friends, or at least people we like. And I think a part of the reason that can bring people back to the table is having more engaging encounters. So, if you're willing to stand by me, to watch me try and fail and try and pass along the little bit of knowledge I've learned in the, admittedly, especially comparing to people that have been in this hobby for decades, brief time I've been in the space, thank you. And, hopefully next video would be a little better. But for first, I think it's fine. So, again, my name is Patrick. This has been the Lair and Legends YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe, I guess. Hope y'all have a good morning, a good evening, and a good night.